Hi everyone, Laurel here, Minnesota Zone 5A, formerly 4B. Just doing actually it's June 1st today, little update, garden tour, some of the things that are changing since my last one. Of course, the cat's pajamas Nepeta, as always, looks stunning. We've got I looked it up, let's see if I can remember, I think it's Biokovo geranium, hardy geranium, or cranesbill blooming. Delicate little pink blooms that kind of stand up above the foliage. This is more of a dwarf variety. It stays pretty low. Unlike some of the other ones like Johnson's Blue or Roseanne get pretty big. Let's see. Over here we've got a little bit of a whole bunch of blooms going on actually. The blue what's it called? Blue ice. This is an Amsonia. I got it in the clearance section at Gerton's a couple years ago. It was labeled as some sort of miscanthus grass. Clearly it was not a miscanthus grass, but I recognized it as Amsonia, and they only sell one variety, so I'm assuming it was that one. Beautiful pale blue lavender flowers on that. Opening up, we've got this Veronica as well, shooting up its blue spiky blooms. And then the foxglove open. This is Dalmatian peach. These were planted last year. So this is their second year blooming. So they will likely die after this, but I will leave them and hopefully they reseed. Otherwise, I'll try starting more from seed again. I've got buds just all over this drift rose. It's actually tall enough that I can probably get my face down close enough to sniff them because they do smell very good. Last year it was kind of low to the ground, so I had to get on hands and knees to really smell the blooms. This year they are tall enough. The Weigela Crimson Kisses also started opening up quite a bit more. Look at how many blooms are on this thing. I mean, it is just loaded. Absolutely loaded. And these are, sorry if you can hear the yard work going on. It's a beautiful evening, so yeah, just sort of like magenta, fuchsia, whatever you want to call it, dark pink blooms with the little white stamen or whatever that is. So pretty. That was another clearance find at Gerton's. It took a couple years for it to get going. You know, they say the first year it sleeps, the second year it creeps, the third year it leaps. Well, this took, I think, an extra year or two of creeping. But now it's leaping, so that's exciting. The allium blooms are done here. I'm going to leave them. They haven't gone to seed yet. I like that little texture in the garden, so I'm going to leave those. Maybe next week I'll cut them down. This will be in the next tour, I'm sure. The Noblesse Yarrow putting on its white blooms. That blooms all summer. Same thing with the drumstick allium putting up its bloom stalks. And all kinds of buds on the Daisy May daisy. And let's see. Yeah, just this allium. I think I showed this in my last tour. That's the last one. These are all Purple Sensation, the ones that are done. This one I don't remember. Gladiator or Globemaster or something. It was a different kind, but it always blooms later. Look at that beautiful foliage. That is the Holy Grail hardy hibiscus. I got that for a pretty good price a couple years ago. If you ever have heard of the Orinoco Gold Rush Days in Orinoco, Minnesota, it's like an antiques fair that takes over the majority of the tiny little town of Orinoco. They have a few garden vendors there. I've gotten a lot of the concrete little statuary that I have from those vendors. There's one that has like garden art. In fact, I think this thing keeps tipping over because we get so much rain, but that little doodad and then the mushroom were all from Gold Rush Days in Orinoco, along with the lion that I have in my other bed. These barberry just look so pretty early on. They kind of darken a little bit darker green later in the summer, but they're just such a bright pop this time of year early on for like the first half of summer. The chocolate chip ajuga is still going for it. It's kind of waning now, the blooms, but still just that stunning bright pop. And the Boom Chocolata geranium opened. Beautiful blue blooms on that. This was just planted in the fall, so it's still small this year. No, nothing yet on the allium. These are Millennium allium. I love the way the foliage looks, those tidy, like grassy clumps. Those usually bloom in August, start blooming in August. And the bee balm will start blooming probably the end of June. Fuchsia Salvia started opening up here. Beautiful purple flowers. This stays nice and upright. I don't find, and this is in part shade too, I don't find that it splits like a lot of other varieties do. Blooms for quite a while. It's a number of weeks that it blooms. It doesn't, I get like sporadic bloom shoot here and there of like rebloom, but it doesn't heavily rebloom. It's sort of early season is the best time. But it stays upright, and it has that kind of sagey green foliage all season. This is the Per something Nepeta starting to open too. The geraniums that I planted are putting out more blooms. We've still got this going on. I got to cut back some of the stuff over here, but I love that those pale pink. Those are really blooming quite a lot this year. The onyx heucherella back there. Still have some blue on the Brunnera, but I will trim those back pretty soon. A lot of the stuff in this bed that was blooming is no longer. I still have to cut back the raspberry splash lungwort. A lot of the Brunnera is finished, but the astilbe are about to start. The ones behind that lady fern there are putting up lots of bloom stalks, and those are kind of fluffy white blooms. Even though the petals, this one is really cool. I said Stairway to Heaven, but I don't think it's that. I do not remember this Jacob's Ladder. But look at that. Even when the petals fall off, it still looks colorful. I love plants like that. And of course the pink fizz, heucherella, with its pretty pink blooms. But the star of the show over on this side is the Back to the Fuchsia Salvia. Just gorgeous. Look at that color. So full and tall. There are bumblebees all over it. Hummingbirds love this too. So pretty. And then I love it with the Walker's Lone Nepeta right behind there. Still hasn't completely split open. But again, this is like a hummingbird magnet. And then in the background, you can see the mystery, possibly butter and sugar iris started opening with its sort of pale yellow and white petals. Let's see if I can get back here to look at these. And that'll be really full of blooms pretty soon. I just wanted to film because we're getting so much rain. I don't know, sometimes that makes blooms. Oh, cool, look at that little, those little wispy dragonflies down there. Skinny ones. But yeah, sometimes when you get that much rain, it kind of ruins the blooms on everything. I should probably move this one back here. I think it gets too much shade. Excuse me, limelight. I'm just going to sneak by. Yeah, so really pretty. I mean, look at those. Those are just gorgeous. Absolutely love it. And then I love the color combined with the Sun King Aurelia, that pop of chartreuse and the red with the... Something's going on with this heuchera. These are these two. Wow, it's putting out new leaves, but look at this. All these leaves, they just like, they've been doing this. A whole bunch of them. I don't know what is going on. If there's something in the soil, it's retaining too much water from all the rain we've had. I don't know. Too much clay underneath in that one little spot. At least it is pushing out new leaves, though. This one looks great. Those are the berry smoothie heuchera. And I think they complement nicely the pink of that salvia. And you kind of have the red, yellow, blue, and green all in one spot here. And we'll go back up here. So there is a little bit more to see. Sorry for my shaky camera. I'm getting also eaten alive by mosquitoes here. I did set these begonias over here just to get them out of the way while I was planting. I am going to do a pot probably of these begonias on this stump. And then I'll figure out something with all the impatiens. But the lamium is still blooming. Even more so. Lots of purple. Oh god, the mosquitoes are bad over here. Okay, moving on. Moving on. The berries are starting to color up and turn red on the red-berried elderberry. Once the red berries are done, oh, and the clematis, look at all the buds. That's gonna be pretty. Once the berries are done on the elderberry, then I give it a nice hard cut back so it's not encroaching so much, and I don't want it to shade out my bulbo hydrangeas over here. I did plant up this salvia, the Rockin' Golden Delicious. That'll just stay bright chartreuse foliage. Maybe it'll bloom, but usually it doesn't, I think, in our zone. Didn't for me last year. Planted up this pot. This is the Supertunia Hoopla Vivid Orchid, which I was really excited to find at Garden City, one of the tents. I love that. Along with the Snow Princess Alyssum, Shiny Shoes Coleus, and Silver Shield Plectranthus. The GM are in full bloom right now. I think these are something tangerine. Just really cheerful, sunny orange blooms. I do have them on plant supports. You can see they tend to lean forward. I think they only get part sun here, so they'd probably be happier with more sun. But they still bloom, and they're a tough as nails plant if you're looking for that. I really like the orange with this hot pink dianthus down here. And the dicentra still putting out blooms. That got pretty weighed down by the rain too. Oh, and I've got one bloom stalk coming up on this heuchera. Very nice. And of course the honeysuckle is in its full glory right now. There are bees all over. Well, there's a big queen bee. Big chunker there. But yeah, bees are all over this right now. They love these blooms. It is not really fragrant. I can't smell it even when I get up close. Not super fragrant blooms. Like I said in previous videos, it's grown more for the eucalyptus-like foliage rather than the blooms. So, but it's fun to see it for a little bit. And after it blooms, I'll trim all these tendrils back too. We've got the lady's mantle blooming here, that pretty chartreuse pop. I don't think any blooms have opened yet on the lamb's ear, but they're forming. And the ninebark started opening. This is the tiny wine ninebark with its baby pink blooms that kind of open to white. Pink buds. This thing is happy this year. Holy smokes. I'm probably going to have to prune it a little bit. With ninebark, I think you want to do more, rather than giving it like an overall prune where you put it into a shape, like a round shape. You want to prune out whole branches to size control it, because you can see like that beautiful arching habit it has. You don't want to ruin that by cutting off the ends of all the branches. It just won't regain that shape for a long time. So that's usually what I do. I'll go find a branch that's kind of in the way and I'll prune out the whole thing. But definitely not going to touch it till after the blooms are done. And I do see the penstemon back there, those tall blooms sticking up above the liatris foliage as well. Blooms are done now on the dogwood. We got like 3 inches of rain or something yesterday and last night. So this thing has just been weighed down all summer. But it's going to be covered. It's getting green berries now, and those will turn white. So that'll be cool. So, and we've got the opening act phlox putting on buds. I think that one's romance pink or something like that, but I honestly don't remember what I planted in the fall, so it will be a mystery. We can see when it opens. Won't that be exciting? And I'll do a tour once I finish planting all my pots up. I'll do a separate tour just of that, show you my combinations. So that's exciting. Doing a separate video of just how it's hard to describe how I plan this all out, lay it all out, but I'll do my best. Just has taken years of trial and error and learning. Sorry if you hear that. There are mosquitoes eating me. Let me run up to the front. We'll see if there's anything fun up there. All right, yes, we see a little action on the rock garden. These variegated sedums started to open up with their yellow blooms. The peachy buds look really cool too. No blooms open yet on the Angelina sedum, but it's coming soon. And the thrift looks so cute still. There are buds on the campanula. I just love these little pink lollipops of the thrift. And more of that same sedum. And more campanula. Budding up. Some of these are blue, some are white. I don't recall. They're either Rapido blue or Rapido white. Don't know which is which. So we'll just see it when it opens. The violas I transplanted are doing good. And let's make our way over. More viola transplants doing good. Same thing with the bronze leaf begonia. A few more blooms on this Weigela. Like I said, this is last 2 years really were a recovery year, but this year especially with all the rain, it's starting to send up longer shoots. Hopefully it'll take a mounded shape again after being broken by snow. This dianthus really opened up though. I don't know what kind it is. It was in like annuals section on super clearance. I expected it to die, but evidently it's hardy here. We've got the Surefire Rose begonias. A couple more buds on the annual Rudbeckia there. I think that one's Pawnee Spirit. And this is a mystery salvia. It was mislabeled in Gerton's clearance as usual, but it's pink. Could be Rose Marvel. They sell several pink sedums, so I guess salvia. So I guess we'll wait and see. We've got some buds there on the two Astilbe. This beast it looks pretty. Just, it's going to have to move because it can't be taking over my whole space over here. And the opening act phlox up here is about to burst. This one I know is Pink Dot. It's kind of white with pink centers, both of these. And the Caesar's Brother Iris, Purple Iris here is about to open. I left a little space because I do need to move these forward from the U a little bit. This U, all of this evergreens in this bed were here. This thing is a beast, but it can be cut back real hard. So I usually let it kind of grow out its new flush in the spring, and then I give it a real hard chop back. This is what the Pawnee Spirit Rudbeckia bloom looks like. Isn't that cool? It has that brown center and then the brown leaves with that deep gold. So I got a patch of them there. Oh, this campanula opened too. This is a mystery kind. It wasn't labeled in Gerton's clearance as always. But I just thought, pretty blue campanula ground cover. And then this is Pardon My Cerise bee balm that was planted in the fall. So that's why it's little. I do expect it to kind of, though, between that and the phlox and the campanula to really fill out this space. And I see a bumblebee enjoying the String Theory Amsonia over here. Still looking gorgeous with those icy blue star-like flowers. And then it'll have that nice kind of ferny, grassy foliage. It almost looks like rosemary, like spiky. Look at that bee. Look at her go. You go, girl. Love it. Looks really pretty next to the yellow flowers on the Nesia Inca Nemesia. And then I think I showed this pot. Supertunia Mini Vista White, Supertunia Mini Vista Violet Star, Supertunia Mini Vista, I want to say Indigo, but that's not it. Midnight. So that's going to slowly but surely fill in up here. And I think I'm going to come in, I have some coleus and some other things to pop in this space behind the Amsonia, and then a few other things to put in this space in front. Eventually that Amsonia will fill out and take up a lot more room, but until then, I will fill in the gaps with annuals. In the side yard, I still have done nothing. Too busy with pots in the back, so. But the hooker all look pretty over here, and then this blue shadow Fothergilla looks lovely. I like all the colors in this section with that gold barberry behind them. So, and it's being lit up very nicely by the sun. Anyway, that's it for this tour. I hope you all have a great day, great weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe.